here we go. It says I'm live, but I think I'm live.
I got a feeling that you got me covered too. I got you covered. I got you covered.
All right, give me just a moment, everybody. Hi. Like I said, Streamlabs is going to take a little bit of time to get used to and understand and get out of the StreamYard mindset. And I also have not had my coffee yet, so you are getting me ready to go. And now I have a line down my face because of that window over there. I think, or maybe it's that one. I don't know, but let's move so I don't have a line. Nope, we're gonna move more this way. So at least the line is more. It's not down my face. But anyway, I'll have to see if it's this window or whether it's that window over here. I have a feeling it's this window, and I've thought for a while I may have to put something on so I don't look like I have a line down my face, especially when it's all sunny out. So anyway, hi Sandy Wandy. This is Mystery Topic Mess Wednesday with a line down my face. I am working to get that chat box is supposed to be there, so hold on a second. I don't know if I'll get the chat box up today. I had it before, but I don't know how to do it now. Let's see something. I'm working on it. I have the hi Dan, how are you? I did put that list up for the Greek Festival. So if you go, there is a playlist now that says Greek Festival, all of the Greek Festival for this year. So if you're looking for that, then that's where it is. Now, on Mystery Topic Wednesday, oh, there's a chat box coming. It's small. I'm going to be working on that. I did get to upgrade to the Ultra with Streamlabs, but I don't have time this morning to figure it out. So I will figure it out, and we can get back to it. And I forgot too about our question. We were starting those questions, the crochet connection questions. Like I said, on Wednesday morning, you're going to get a hot mess. This is what this girl is before her cup of coffee. Her brain just doesn't. This is the cup of coffee I have in the morning. Then once I drink it, I can start thinking a little bit. But so we're going to have to do this just a little bit different today until next week. But at least we're doing it. At least the chat's on the thing. It's just really small. But I can't pull up comments right now. But I will be able to do that with the Ultra and figure all that out. And all new things. But it's good. It's okay. We'll figure it out. So I have the Topic Wednesday on my phone, the wheel. So we're going to just use that for right now. And that will decide. Once I find it. As I did have it on my phone. What did I do with it? It went poof. It went poof. How could it go poof? Oh, goodness. I gotta find it again. I had the wheel. Oh, here it is. I put it on my favorites. So we're just going to use my phone today, and that'll determine what it is. So I'm going to tap it and spin it. Here's the wheel. Here's our mystery wheel. But I'm just having to use my phone today till I figure out Streamlabs. So I'm going to tap it, and we'll see what topic's going to come up today. Right. Special need parenting. I got this one because I've lived it. Boy, oh boy, I had the first ones were the first one was let's start writing a list of them. The first one was customer service, so I know this one very, very well. Special needs parenting. Um, so this is a good topic because with StreamYard doing or Streamlabs and learning how to do it and all this kind of stuff, I need a simple and easy topic to be able to do it. So, yep, this is my cup of coffee, and I love this. My husband gave it to me. Do you not see? Perfect one for today. I had an autism mama bear cup, and I still have it. I won't get rid of it, but I have worn it to the edge. This stuff is starting to go, but this one has a mama bear. And I can tell you, with a special needs child, you have to be a mama bear. You really, honestly have to be a mama bear. Because it is a club that you never thought you would be in. It's a club that you honestly didn't think you were going to be in, that you weren't expecting to be in. And the problem with it is you go, I went to like, I can't think of the store now, the bookstore, Barnes and Noble, getting books on this. And they're really, honestly, were more discouraging than they were helpful. And I say that not to the people that wrote them, but they were great advice, but they didn't really necessarily work for Christina. And then the problem came in that she was misdiagnosed. So in the first, 5 years of her life, I knew something wasn't right. But then what I did was I blamed myself as a parent. I was a single parent. I was doing the best I could. I lived with my parents so that I could give my daughter the best of everything. But I really honestly tended to blame myself because I was like, what am I doing wrong? There's got to be something I'm doing wrong. There's got to be something I'm not, I'm missing. I'm not giving her enough of this or that. And I'll never forget the Pacific time. And this later on in life, when I understood what she was going through, I understood this was just a time where her computer was crashing. And I'm going to put Christina's YouTube channel. She has several, but this is one of them if you haven't subscribed to them. Kristen Melinda is like a sister to me, but go ahead and give her a subscribe over there. She does wonderful, wonderful cosplay stuff. And I'll never forget being in the kitchen. I was washing dishes. And you remember those little stools the kids use to pick, so they could get up on the sink? Well, she picked that up and just went running and rammed it in my back. She was like 3 years old, and I'm thinking, there's got to be something. So there was a place close to where we lived, and it was, I forgot what it is. It was like a Christian ministry place. And they worked with single mothers. And I called them up and I said, do you have a counselor available? Because I've got to see what's going on. And I went there. We went there. He was wonderful. And I went there for a couple years. And it took him a while because she was so young. She was only 3. And to really sit down with me and say, you know what, this is not your fault. This is not your parenting. There's something that is not totally right. And so we went to Nova University, which I'm glad we did, but I wish we didn't, kind of thing, because we went to Nova University and there were people that were students that were doing kind of like, getting hours and so forth. And so they did an evaluation with her. And the evaluation came back as ADHD. They got that correct, but they put her on as onset childhood bipolar. And I remember being in this room, and all I wanted to do was run. Mind you, I had a grandmother who had bipolar. So I knew what bipolar looked like. And I was just sitting there going, this is my precious daughter. Now she's going to have this. I knew what it looked like. I knew, and I mean, I could remember with my grandmother, one time I get, Jekyll, and then the next thing I get Hyde, and I never knew which one I was going to get with her. And my dad didn't really have bipolar, but he was very anxious, and he could go from really calm to really not so calm very quickly. And I thought, this is what my child is going to deal with. And I just remember being so sad for her. I remember having to go to work that day thinking, how am I going to even get through the day? And how am I going to even get through the day? Because I really was, so sad for her. And it took then from her age of 5 through until the age of 11 for her to actually be diagnosed with what she really honestly had. And it took someone within a very, very brief period of time to come and say, that came in our home, and it was something that happened very quick, some kind of situation that happened that had this all come and transpire. And these people came into our home to evaluate Christina, evaluate us, and so forth, and help us. Because she was 11 at this point. And I'll never forget this woman. She just observed Christina for about 45 minutes. And she looked at me and she said, this is an onset bipolar. You have a child with autism. And if you could have just about knocked me over with a feather. I was like, what? I have been taking this child to doctors. I've been taking her here, there, and everywhere. I've been taking her to facilities. I've been taking her this place and that place. I have just, for 5 years, I've been all over the place. You come in my home for 45 minutes and you nail it? What that did was it changed a whole different path. But it also, in essence, for us, was somewhat discouraging. Because we had gone down this road of bipolar, we really honestly, my sister was autism, was misdiagnosed as schizophrenia, Sandy Wendy says. And I'm reading comments because I can't put them yet on the screen. After this, I'll sign up with the Ultra and hopefully I can do that. But it was frustrating because she was, all those years that we had, gone the route of being bipolar, what we could have done if we realized she was autistic. Oh my goodness, it would have changed so much. And that part was frustrating to me. I thought, all this time that I thought that she was just being a defiant kid. Her computer was crashing. Changes would happen. Situations would happen. And I thought, this is just her computer. It would have been simple. It would have been like, this is her computer crashing. We had Abby when she was 5 years old. If I had known she was autistic, we would have gotten an autistic service dog sooner. There were so many things we would have done if she had been diagnosed early. We lost 18 years of what could have been the correct diagnosis. Absolutely. Because the thing is she hit most of her milestones on time with no problem. She wasn't doing stimulant behavior. She wasn't sitting and rocking and doing those kind of things. She wasn't nonverbal. She was very verbal. She could talk. She was hitting all of the milestones. And it's a lot easier to diagnose a girl than it is a boy. So, and it's often misdiagnosed in girls. And there's something called masking, where they can mask what's really going on so that people around them don't see. I truly recommend, if you are having trouble with getting a proper diagnosis, find out if you can get behavioral therapy in your home. Let them come in where the child is comfortable, where the child is in their own environment, and they may be able to diagnose it if they're right on cue by just observing them in their own environment. That's where, when somebody came in and she just sat on the couch and she just asked me a couple questions, but she was just fixed on Christina. Hi, Echo, how are you? She was fixed on Christina, and she was able to diagnose her. So I just remember thinking, when I went to, the thing, I was just desperate. I had learned a lot about bipolar at that point, but at the point of 11, I thought, okay, now I got to learn about autism. And I went to Barnes & Noble, I went to the library, hoping to be able to get to the point where I could, you know, could get, you know, I could be able to get some kind of assistance to understand this. And the books were wonderful for a girl that doesn't like to read, and I don't. It was a struggle, but a lot of times I found them somewhat discouraging because they were so different, because every child with autism is different. And we had a parenting class with our church, and we went there, and there were some things we found that were helpful, but there were some things that we could not do because of Christina's disabilities. And then not even that, just fighting in the school system for a special needs child. And the teachers thinking at times that they knew what was best, and that this mama was absolutely nuts. I'll never forget it. Got to take a sip of coffee so I can think. You can see the coffee is starting to work. We were in a meeting with the principal and two of her teachers. And she was probably about 4th grade. She hadn't been diagnosed yet with autism. And they all sat in this room as they're talking to us. We spent an hour in this room being told everything terrible about my daughter. And when I would try to speak up, and when they would say something knowing my daughter as well as I did, I was her mama, the eyes would roll. And I really honestly, about half an hour into this meeting, should have got my tail end up and said, I am leaving as long as the two of you and the principal want to sit here and roll your eyes at me and tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. This is my daughter. I know her. You can either listen to me or not. But we are not going to continue this meeting as you want to sit there, all of you, and not even say one nice thing about my daughter. We're not doing this. And I didn't do that. I just sat there taking it, and I shouldn't have. And I left there in absolute tears. And the one teacher that, it was her teacher, her main teacher, and the one teacher the next year, after she had been diagnosed, there was a piece of paper they gave us. And it was Dan Marino where we got her confirmed diagnosis. And there was this piece of paper. And on it was about 10 or 12 things that the educational system can do for her. Almost all of those things were something that I said that would have been helpful for them to do. It's special parenting. It is a special need parenting today, which is something I'm familiar with. Um, and So I just remember having that list in my hand, and I wasn't mean when I went up to the teacher and said this, but I went up to her and I said, and I made a copy of it. I said, just so you should know what it's like, or you should know what the symptoms of autism are. Because remember that parent meeting that we were in? I said, here's a list from Dan Marino. And almost everything that I suggested to help you all with her, you poo-pooed and said, forget it, and washed it off and rolled your eyes at me. And I said, every solitary one of them almost, I was spot on. So you need to know what it looks like to have a child with autism in your class. And I walked away. I wasn't mean, but I was like, I am not going to let this slide. You should know me. I'm not going to let it slide. So when it comes to special need parenting, you need support as a special needs parent. You need to realize that you are in a time in your life that you never planned to be, that you never expected to be, that you're really unsure about. This is a club you never wanted to join, but you're in it, whether you like it or not. And you have to realize when you are dealing with a special needs child that you're going to be more tired. You're going to have people surrounding you. Sometimes the parents were worse than the kids that do not understand when you say, sorry, I cannot attend that. If you are not dealing with a special needs child, but you know someone that is dealing with a special needs child, and you have a birthday party, invite them. Whether they come or not, it doesn't matter. But I can tell you, up until the point where my daughter wanted girls only, when her birthday party would come around, we would sit there and invite the entire class. And I think it was like 4th or 5th grade, somewhere in there, where we actually started, making it so that it was, girls only. But I can tell you that the invitations were not reciprocal. There were people that were being invited, and Christina was not one of them. She was not one that was invited to too many parties because people knew there was something different about her. Now, if there had been an invitation to Chuck E. Cheese, we went to Chuck E. Cheese once, and by the time we left, I could barely touch Christina, and we weren't going to go back again. So, even if they can't come to the birthday party because it's just too overstimulating, or the event that you have it in is just too much, invite them. Sit down. Hold on a second, guys. I don't know how to, hold on. Wait a minute. Sorry, guys. I don't normally take phone calls while I'm live, but I didn't know whether it was, I knew it was a doctor. And I have a doctor's appointment later on this afternoon, so I didn't know if they were calling to tell me they needed to reschedule it or what. So it was something to do with Josh's doctor. So thank you for giving me a moment to deal with it. I appreciate it. But again, like I said, I knew that I had a doctor's appointment, and I thought maybe they're calling to tell me they need to reschedule it or the office has changed or something like that. So I wanted to handle that. Otherwise, I would have just said, we're not going to answer that. But anyway, getting back to what we were saying. Oh, before I forget, I've got to do this too. So anyway, invite them. If you have a parent, I got to give things away. I got to give gifted memberships away today because today is the last month. Invite them. Make sure that you're maybe sitting down with the parent and finding out. If you're sitting there going, I don't have to worry about it. I don't have autism in my family. Doesn't matter. Go ahead and sit down with them and find out and talk with them. And find out. Which one am I on? Hold on a second, guys. This is the last of the month, so I'm going to send them now. We'll see who gets them. I forgot I had to do that. Tiff, Rio, Alice, Crate and Relate, and Elfish Tanks got the gifted memberships today. Oh, and I did, before I forget, with the gifted memberships, I also put on there for those that did get it or have it, I put on a mama emoji, a flamingo. My mother is very much a flamingo lover. She loves flamingos. And so I went ahead and did flamingos, took off the shamrock finally, and I totally forgot Easter with everything that went on. But I did a mama, it's a mama flamingo with her baby flamingo, and then I put mama. And so I added that. So that flamingo emoji says mama, and that's the Mama's Day emoji, is 2 flamingos. Hi, Bud Files. Hi, Bud Files. So anyway, Sandy could probably, I don't know if Sandy can see it, but it's there. It's the new emoji. Is the mama flamingo. So anyway, get back to what we were saying. But if you are special needs, if you're not, invite them. If they can't show up to the party, it doesn't matter. The fact that the child's invited is all that matters. If you're dealing with a special needs child, hi, Sit Hi, how are you? If you're dealing with a special needs child, or excuse me, if you're someone that doesn't have one, and that's your friend or someone you know within the class, go out to lunch with them. Say, you know what, I don't have this. I'm not dealing with this, but can you explain? Can you explain what it is like so I can understand it? A lot of times these special needs parents are the most lonely, or one of, I can't say they're the most, they're one of the most loneliest people because they don't have a lot of people that understand. They don't have a lot of people that are willing to sit with them and understand their life. They're tired. We would have to have respite care that would come into the home as Christina got older and just come so that I could go take a nap. Usually those with autism do not sleep well. It's one of the first questions I ask another autistic parent. How's the sleep pattern? And 9 out of 10 times they will say the sleep pattern is terrible. And so you've got lack of sleep. And I was heavily criticized if I said to somebody, you know what, my daughter's 11, 12, and I'm still having her sleep with me, or I'm sleeping in her bed, because it would be sometimes the only way I could get a full night's sleep. Otherwise, I was up all through the night and I had to go to work. And so I would sit at work trying not to fall asleep. So we don't need to be criticizing the parent for whatever they need to do to be able to get through the day. But we would hire, or we didn't hire, but we were able to find an agency that did respite care. And they would come to the house and say, okay, you can go to the grocery store, or you could go here, you can go there. I'm like, nope, I just want to go to bed. I want to go to sleep. Sandy Wendy says moms with special needs kids often need more friends. They need a friend who is a good listener at what the mom is going through. Absolutely 100%. The thing about the whole that whole thing is, understand that we could not hire the neighborhood kid, teenager girl, to come in. At that point, at age 13, Christina was then diagnosed with diabetes. So we could not hire a teenager to come in and babysit Christina, even past that, even before then, because of her special needs. I couldn't do it. So oftentimes babysitters didn't happen. We had someone in our church that was older who had worked with her in the nursery, and I could have them come over and watch her. But we didn't do a lot of babysitters that would come in. Once she got diabetes, that was out the window. I did not want a teenager to have to come into the environment and have to deal with a child, 11, 12, right, who we still had to have somebody kind of watch her. Christina got diagnosed with autism or diabetes at 13, to have to then deal with a diabetic child. Because if they were not familiar, Christina wasn't really, she was just learning how to stick herself and do all those kind of things. I needed somebody that was comfortable to do all that, test her, know what to do in an emergency, and I could not put that responsibility on a teenager that, wasn't used to all of this. So we would have a private agency that came in that was with our county that gave us respite hours. They would come in for 2 hours, and oftentimes I'd go to bed because I was absolutely exhausted 99% of the time. When Jordan came into her life, that was a game changer. And my only wish is that we had had Jordan or something like that a lot sooner. If you have a child that is autistic or a special needs child, look into a service dog. If they love dogs, look into them, because that can be such a healing thing for them. It was for Christina. Having Jordan was just, it was like a night and day. She was coming out of her shell. She was reborn again through that. Probably can play it on my phone for a minute. Give me a minute. I want you all to see this, and eventually I'll learn how to put stuff on the screen. But I want you just to see this. Give me a minute. This is a video of when Jordan started coming to our house. It's the first time he actually came to our house. And Christina sat with Jordan. And I had never seen her smile like that, if I can find it real quick. I had never seen her smile in such an amazing way than when Jordan was around. I thought, my child is smiling, she's happy, she's laughing, if I can find it. I did it in a video recently. Did I download it? I may have downloaded it. Let me see. Hold on a second. I think I downloaded it recently. Did I? Hold on a minute. I had seen her laugh. I had seen her smile. And I just sat there thinking, this is something I haven't seen before. Don't see it in here. Hold on a second. I had never seen her do that before in that sense. And I just remember watching her just come to life with Jordan. And I thought, this is just amazing. This is truly amazing to see her and just laughing and smiling. And if I can't find it, I won't be able to find it. Let me see if I can look under videos. Oh, here it is. Here's what I want. So, we'll learn how to put stuff on the screen. I want you to see Christina. We had made these like homemade treats for her, or homemade treats for Jordan, these peanut butter ones, and he loved them. And so she's feeding him these, and I watched this video. I actually put it in a devotion recently, but I watched it and I thought, I remember sitting there watching this child just laughing and smiling and coming to life before my eyes. And I just remember that. I thought, she's coming out of her shell. And I want you to watch this. And when you watch this, you're going to see Christina. And the Christina you saw on a live a couple nights ago that was actually talking over me. Like I said, this child was so quiet. You can see the difference in her then to her now. And Jordan was a huge, huge factor in that.
He's growing.
Wow, nice.
Put your hand out. There you go. He's like, wow, these are gone. I don't have any more.
No, but he will find the
Can you hear her? It was a whole different octave. This was another one. She was just laughing. He was chewing on a bone.
That's how he cleans his teeth.
I think we're going to have to buy stock in nylon.
I told you didn't want soft toys. Destroy them. Yeah, we get that stuff like that soft toy.
And I just remember watching her and thinking to myself, my daughter's laughing. I didn't realize it was on thing. And I just remember watching her. Hi, Handcraft. I just remember watching her and I thought, she's laughing. She's coming out of her shell. Now that the sun has died down a little bit, she's coming out of her shell. She's laughing. I had never heard that before like that. It was a whole different laugh. It was a whole different kind of, her posture was changing in how she was interacting. And that was just the first visit to our home with this dog. We hadn't even we haven't even gone down the whole process with. This was the first step with Jordan. Her posture was changing. She was laughing. We were starting to get her out of, a lot of times in autism, they're in their own world. And Jordan was this bridge between our world and their world. And Jordan was that bridge. She was starting to come into our world. You know, she said to me the other day, she said, you know, I said, I need my mama's hug. And she said, I've given you plenty of hugs. And I said, nope, you really haven't. Now, as she's gotten older, I've gotten more hugs. But growing up, I didn't get a lot of cuddles and a lot of hugs. She did as a baby, but then it was more difficult as she went and got older, because there was a lot of times where she couldn't handle the touch. It was too overstimulating for her to even handle mama's touch. Yes, it was an amazing thing, Sandy Wendy, to watch. There was a series that happened. Gotta take another sip of coffee. There was a series that happened between military individuals and their dogs. And they would bring in these dogs to be able to partner with the military individual that was dealing with PTSD or something like that. And you watch them. And sometimes they could bring 2, 3, 4, 5 dogs in before they would start to see that this was the dog. And the minute that they brought in the right dog, you could just see that the connection. The connection was like boop. It was like glue. That's what happened when Christina met Jordan. It was just like whoop, and there was no separating these two. And I just really encourage a special needs parent to first of all acknowledge that this is not your fault, because as parents we feel like we didn't do something right. I should have done this. I shouldn't have done this. No. If you are a friend of a special needs parent, get surrounded with them. Meaning, I had to move the trash can. It was digging into my leg. Make sure that you can be around them and have them. I don't care whether you understand any of it. If you have the ability to be a resource, don't you hate that when you're going to sneeze and you don't sneeze? Be a phone call away or a text away when they're struggling with something. Take them, if they can't go out to lunch, bring lunch to them. If you're an adult, and as long as you feel as if you could handle whatever special needs that the child had, go over and sit with the mom with the child and get to know that child a little bit, and then maybe offer to come and say, you know what, I've gotten to know this child for a little bit. I want you to go lay down for an hour. There are things that we need to do for these special needs mamas and dads, not excluding either one, that is a little bit more. And because it is a very lonely club to be in. And I'm a big advocate for occupational therapy. Riding those horses was a huge help for Christina. Being on occupational therapy, riding the horses, being under equestrian, therapy for that. It was a huge, huge, huge help. We did that. And then having behavioral therapy in the home. I could have taken Christina to behavioral therapy any place else. Having them in my home, where I had them in my backyard, was a huge help, because they got to see Christina in her own environment. Behavioral therapy. Jordan was another huge, huge resource. There are people that are advocates for parents at school so that when they're going into IEPs and all that kind of stuff and the school system, that can be advocates for them. And a lot of times the behavioral therapist can often be a help in the school system because they will come. We had several times where the behavioral therapist would sit in with the parenting conference with us. And things changed with the teachers because it wasn't just this mama's word about what was going on. I had somebody who knew what they were talking about, a professional that sat there and knew what they were talking about. Take another sip of coffee. So behavioral therapy in the home, respite care for your parents. I don't care if they come to your house and you go to bed. And the thing when it comes to having with friends and so forth, my big encouragement is to say to them, you don't have to understand this. I'm not asking you to. What I do with my child doesn't have to make a blinking sense to you. But you know what? You're not living my life. And if I choose that I can't go out and do this and that because it's going to wind up to a 3-hour meltdown, and I've lived them, then don't be upset with me. We've got to get to a point where special needs children and parents have a voice, have a platform, are understood. And the only way to really understand that is to come beside them and ask. If we can come beside the parent and sit there and ask what we can do for them, don't sit there and just assume. You need to ask. I just wanted a friend. I just wanted someone that I could talk with. And nobody wanted to understand. Nobody wanted to take the time to understand what I was going through. I remember sitting on a couch with a friend of mine, and I've told this story before, with a selfie stick. And we laughed over this silly selfie stick and trying to get the selfie stick to work. And I remember getting in the car. Christina was probably about 12, 13, somewhere around there. And I got in the car and I actually started crying. And you would think you had a good time, you laughed, you had fun, and then other people showed up for this gathering she was having, and I should be all happy. And I remember actually being very sad because I thought, I can't remember the last time I sat on the couch with a girlfriend and just laughed. You know, there was a lady that was talking, and she read this poem, and I think it was the mother-in-law that stood up or something like that. I can't remember, that stood up and read this poem about when you get married, don't forget your girlfriends. And the same thing kind of goes for the guys. Don't forget your guy friends. Because you're going to need them to laugh with you and cry with you and be there for you and be there as a support system. Don't forget your girlfriends. Bring them along for the ride. Especially for women, there's a huge desire for that. To have them girlfriends that you can laugh with and cry with and be there as a support system. And the guys, especially the special needs fathers, they need that too. They need those guy friends to come beside them. Let's take you out to a baseball game. Let's take you out to lunch. They need that. And the fathers, you need to to be able to give permission for your wife to go out with her girlfriends and you be home with the kids. Even if you don't have special needs kids, you need to do that with them. You need to allow each other to go out with your friends and hang out and kind of reground yourself again. You cannot beat yourself up as a special needs parent for what you didn't do, what you didn't know. Believe me, I've done that my entire life. I've sat there thinking, I should have done this, I should have done that, I should have seen this beforehand. I raised Christina the best I could, and I don't think I did a half bad job. And I am so proud of her. She's never going to be one that is going to make a ton of money. She's never going to be one that is going to, do any of that. But she is so good with the horses because of the 10 years she spent in equestrian therapy. She's so good with the horses. There's a horse, she actually took a video of it, and we can't share it because it's not her horse. Reboot. Sometimes we need to reboot. She's so good with the horses. And I can't show it because it's a video that's not the horse, and it's not her horse, so she can't share it. But she told us yesterday that there was this horse, and she just decided to go in. Of course, she had the lead rope in her hand, and she said, I just want to do a test to see if this horse was going to follow me just wherever I went. And sure enough, that horse, she walked this way, the horse would go right behind her. She walked this way, that horse followed her until it found her phone. And then it wanted to see whatever horse was in the phone. But the point of it is that's trust. She says, I don't know why the horse did that. I said, because he trusted you. But there's also something about her. When we went to her horse stables and she showed us all the horses, and all the horses stuck their head out of the stable to see her, that was for sure. They knew they were going to get lots of loving and lots of caring from from Christina. And I watched her. I watched these horses just come out of the stalls looking for her. So we as special needs parents need to be able to never put, boundaries on these kids, in the sense of, I'm not saying they don't need boundaries. Everybody needs boundaries. But I'm just talking about, well, they can't do that because of this. They can't do this because of this. They can't do this because of that. No. They can do anything that they set their mind to, even if they're dealing with special needs. They could be married. Christina's driving now. She works as a cashier, which absolutely, totally surprises me. And there are people that go to her store that she's at looking specifically for her. Specifically for her. Because they want to be able to see her. they want to be able to, have that communication with, her. They know her, and they're like, we want to be on the lookout for you. We want to be able to, they just love her. They love how she's just she's so full of life, and she'll acknowledge them, and she'll talk to them, and she just absolutely, she loves it. Absolutely 100% loves it. And they will actually go looking for her um, in a way that just absolutely, it just warms my heart to see. It really does. And I'm so blessed that I really got to a point in my special needs parenting that how do I put it? I didn't, it wasn't a door that I didn't knock down. And I think that we need to get to that point with these kids. And don't be afraid to ask for help. We've got to ask for help. We've got to ask for friends to come beside us as parents. We have to be able to say we cannot do this by ourselves and alone. We just can't do it. We have to be able to be in a position where we're not doing that. And I can't say enough for all of that, and just please don't try to do this by yourself. Don't try to do it by yourself. Don't try to do it without help and assistance. None of us need to do that. I'm trying to see if I can pull up. So my biggest advice for any special needs parent is you're not alone. You don't need to do this by yourself and alone. You need to ask for as much help as you possibly can. This is not a sprint. This is a marathon. And that's why this channel is here. That's why that light is behind us. Because we're going to be here to say nobody's ever going to suffer in silence. And we're going to keep doing this no matter what. And being here for people. And these Wednesday morning little chit-chats, and I'm trying to see if I can find my little thing for the members, but I know I put it someplace. But when we changed software, everything changed. I have it recorded someplace else so I can get it pretty easily. But don't try to do this by yourself. Don't be ashamed to ask for help. Don't be sitting there going, there's something wrong with my parenting. I'm doing something wrong. Get behavioral therapy in the house. Fight for what needs to happen for you and your child. It's not... found it. I have to add the music to it. And I will, so it's on here, but I have to build the scene. And it's fine, but if I download it, I'll remember to actually build the scene. But I'll do it later. But to all the channel members, thank you so much for your support. It does help tremendously. But I guess my tips to wrap this up is our Wednesday mystery topic is going to be a little messy. That's okay. And when it comes to the topic of special need parenting, I think I probably could talk about it for a long period of time. But my biggest thing with anybody that is dealing with a special needs individual, and you're a special need parent, and you're sitting there going, I just feel so lost. I feel so I just feel so like I don't have anybody. Find places where you can have people surrounding you so that you're not feeling like you're by yourself. Get behavioral therapy, occupational therapy, all those kind of things. As much as you can get, as much as you need to support, do the research within your community. Find, hi Lucy, how are you? Find organizations, find community groups that are special needs parents that you can find resources from. When we are dealing with a special needs child and special needs parenting, we need to be, there was a little reel I was watching the other day, and this gentleman said his wife was 23 weeks pregnant. She was 30 with her second child, and she had colon cancer. It was stage 4. Can't even imagine for this young man. And he was asking Dave Ramsey whether they should finish off paying off her woman, the wife's student loan. Has about $60,000 left. And he goes, stop. You are in a battle in your life right now that is unmeasurable. He said, we tell most families that have children that are pregnant to go ahead and stop paying anything, stop the getting out of debt thing, and start sloshing money in an account. Because down the road, you can go ahead and slosh more money. You know what I mean? You can then take the money that's built up and pay those things off. Doesn't mean stop paying, but just pay the minimum, whatever you need to do, but don't worry about it. And he said, you have a battle. The battle is to deliver us, have her be able to get to term with the child, because they had to start chemo really quickly. Get to term with the child, and then win that battle and win the battle of cancer. And then you can deal with this. Don't worry about the student loan right now. When you are a special needs parent, you are in a battle that you never expected to be in. You're battling schools, you're battling other people, you're battling sometimes your own spouse. Not intentionally, but you are so drained that little things that would never irritate you do. You're sometimes battling your child. You're trying to understand it. You're trying to do research. If you're dealing with autism, if you met one autistic individual, you've met one. That's it. So the research sometimes doesn't always coordinate. You're trying to get, your rest. You're trying to get services done. All of those things. And you have to make sure that you're self-caring for yourself, whatever that may look like. Get as many services as you can. Get as much support system around you that you possibly can. Don't feel bad when you say to a friend, I cannot go out because I'm too tired. You know what? Say to that friend, could you come over here? Would you be willing to come over and talk with me? I need somebody. And us as non-special needs parents, I have said it before, there is no normal as far as I'm concerned. None of us are normal. We all are. We all have our issues and moments, right? But I've said it to several parents. If you are a parent of a child that is normal, that doesn't have any special needs, be thankful. But then if you're not, if you don't have a child with special needs, boy, do we need to surround the individuals that do. We need to go over to their house. We need to sit. We need to watch. And we need to say, oh, thank goodness that I'm not dealing with any of that. But how can I help my sister or brother come beside them and assist them in this battle? Because I truly believe that children, it can take a village to raise them. But I think that's even more strong for those with special needs. Because they do need a village. The parents need that support system and that beam. So as much as support as we could throw at them, I think the better. Personally. And again, I'm going to sign up for the Ultra. So hopefully next month we can start to maybe include some people on a panel when we're doing our mystery Wednesday. I can't have them share this to their own channel by using that, I don't think. And that also becomes a little bit of a gray area for YouTube. But we're going to continue to do this. I've got these set out. And then June 18th, which is a Wednesday, I think probably about 8 o'clock at night, and I haven't been able to schedule it just yet. We're going to have my birthday party June 18th. And in June, we're going to come on every day except for Sunday and Monday, a special little push in the month of June. And I'm also going to start, I was going to think about doing it yesterday again, but it was raining outside yesterday. But maybe going out about 7:30, bringing my rocking chair outside on our little porch out there and sitting with you all. It was really nice the other night. I think Christina wanted to hop on in and bringing my crochet out and just opening up the lighthouse and chit-chatting. We tried to do Lighthouse Mondays for a while, and I don't know if that will be something we'll ever go back to. We may go back to it, but I really do believe that it would be another way of still kind of doing Lighthouse Mondays, not necessarily on Monday, but opening up the lighthouse. I bring my crochet, you bring whatever you want to, and we'll do it. And I also want to get with Crafty Witch and maybe see about sitting out there maybe every so often with her and just chit-chatting as well. She's a wonderful, see if I can put her channel here. I forget it, what it is, but she is a wonderful channel, and I thought maybe I'll reach out to her. She's a friend, and see if she wants to connect, and she could crochet and I could be crocheting and we could be chit-chatting and all that kind of stuff. And I forget what code it is. I'll find it, but I'll talk with her because I think that would be really cool. And I had to look what, I forget the code. I have to get a list of those codes. Oh, that's what it is. But if you haven't checked out her channel, go ahead and check it out. And I'm thinking about reaching out to her and saying, why don't we just get together? I'll bring my crochet, we'll sit out and we'll chit-chat, and she could be putting together something and have me on in, and I think it would be a lovely time. I really enjoy doing that kind of stuff with her. But we're going to do more and more of us sitting out now that the winter is not happening, because I can't do that in the winter, but at least in the spring and summer, about 7:30 at night, and it'll just be a pop-up. I don't think I'm going to plan that, because I could plan it and then it could pour rain. But we could also do it over here. I could bring my phone and I could sit in my bedroom if I had to, but I'd rather sit outside with y'all. But if it's not raining and it's beautiful and it's not too hot, I think it'd be wonderful to sit out there. I think it was a joy, open out the lighthouse and be able to do it. Have you come on in and again, just finding that support system and being there for each other. That's what it's all about. I did record the devotion for Friday and Sunday, I think. I'm going to get back with doing devotions with Mama for Mondays next week. I'm trying to play catch-up game. And so I got those, and then I'm going to really, really work on getting some pre-recorded so that I'm ahead of the schedule here. And then the next thing is just really kind of figuring out Streamlabs and how it all works and going down that nice rabbit hole. I am liking it a little bit more than I thought I was going to like it, because I get to build everything and get to have it the way I want it, versus kind of the confines of StreamYard. But it's also a whole learning game, which is fine. It'll be fine, and it'll work no matter what. And I will add the members little dance that we have. I will add that in here. I just have to add the music to it. I tried to look it up on InShot, and it's the thing is broken, so I have to redo it. I don't do the whole video, just the music part of it. So I will do that and upload it so that it's in this system. I will do the Ultra. I'm going to work on the devotions. And I did upload the taco salad. So if you haven't gone to check that out, go ahead and check that out. That recipe for the taco salad. And then maybe not today, but tomorrow I will work on the Mother's Day craft so that I can get that video done. Maybe, well, no, I will work on doing the first part of it on Friday. On Thursday, and then they'll be all dried, and I will go ahead and put it together Friday before Christina comes, and that way I can put it up this weekend, and then that way you all, if you're looking to do a Mother's Day gift, handcrafted gift, you would have that to use to rely on. So I'll try to get that done. If not, I will certainly try to get it done. Maybe I'll try to even do it later today. We'll see how I feel. I'm really working on getting this one blanket. I have the one. It's what is it? It's big one. It was on. I put it on a thumbnail the other day, the Home Sweet Home one. But I'm trying to get this other one done, and so I can hand it to. The one is a Mother's Day. She doesn't know she's getting it from her son, but the other one they did order, and so I want to be able to hand both of them and get those two out of the way. I've got another one for the church that needs to get done now, and one that Christina had me do, and I have one special one I can get. And then after I get those done, I'm going to start working on patterns that I'd like to do and being able to learn how to put patterns together for this specific blanket style that I really totally enjoy doing. I love doing it. It just absolutely warms my heart to do it, and I just absolutely love it. And so I got it. If you all saw, I think I got sweet the other day. I got sweet exactly where it was supposed to be. I was a little nervous, but I got it. I've got so many ones that I want to do. I want to do one for that monkey channel that I really like. I ordered a shirt. They have shirts every once in a while, and I ordered one of their shirts. I was watching it with my mom yesterday. Y'all haven't checked them out. I was watching. Showed my mom the channel, and she was actually laughing. And I said to her yesterday, I said, I don't know what it is about this channel, but as we were watching it, she was like, you know what? I said, can you imagine? And she said, yeah, now I understand why, Mary. She said, because Patty would have talked to these animals exactly how this lady talked to her, to the animals. And I thought, there's just something about the way she talks and the way she treats these animals that reminds me so much of my aunt. And then her husband, Kevin, her name is Jamie, and then Kevin, and he's so much like my husband. It's like we've said, my husband has said, I would have said exactly the same thing. And I said, yeah, I know, because you're just like that. You would have exactly the same kind of response that would have come out. And he said, I would have said the same thing. And so, he's He's a redneck. My husband's a redneck, country boy, and it is just so, it is funny. I almost knocked my coffee over. It's funny to watch him, and I thought, oh boy, my husband and him would be in so much trouble together. They'd have so much fun together. I'm going to put the taco salad recipe, if you haven't gone to check out that's a short. Go and check it out. The dressing, I'm going to tell you the secret totally. I may have spilled the beans already, but the dressing is the game changer. I'm going to get off here. We're going to have our therapy session, and then I've got my doctor's appointment. The test did come back negative, but I think they're going to see what else that they can accomplish so that this doesn't happen again. And I would really like that. But if you're a woman, you understand, and hopefully they can get it resolved and we can move forward. And I have to take my medicine. I have one more day of my medicine, and then I'm done. And one day at a time. That's all I can do right now. So anyway, be proud of being yourself. Everyone else is taken. Remember, we got you covered. Thank you so much for having us covered, and keep crocheting that connection. No crochet hook required. We'll see you on the next one. Have a good day. Bye-bye, everybody. And maybe sometime, maybe tomorrow, we'll see how the day goes. Maybe later today, I'll just pop up like I did and bring out the crochet, and we'll just sit and chit-chat. Alrighty. Thank you for joining us for Mystery Topic Wednesday, and join us next week for Mystery Topic Wednesday. It's going to be a mess. It's going to be a mystery, but I think it's fun. And I think when we get other people onto the panel, I think it'll be even more of a really fun time. And I'm looking forward to doing that. And just have to figure out the whole Streamlabs thing. So anyway. Bye-bye, everybody. Have a good day, and we'll see you later. Now I got to figure out this part. I'm working on it, guys.
So proud